Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to a very special video for Crusader Kings 3, the latest iteration of one of the greatest franchises of all times, and holy cow, is this one ever fantastic. This video is sponsored by Paradox. Make sure to check the links in the description for information about the game, as well as where you can get it. Now today I'm not myself. Today I'm not Quill18. No. Today, I am King Sancho II. I'm known as the Father of Spain to my subjects because I have united this territory. After the maybe unfortunate and accidental death of my two brothers, which I had nothing to do with, up until now, I've looked primarily inwards in my land. I've been developing my holdings, making sure that my subjects have everything they could possibly need to feed themselves, to improve themselves, to learn new cultures and better their lives in every way. I've been feeding my people. I've also been dabbling in some light to moderate witchcraft. But luckily, no one's really found out about that yet. So fingers crossed that that's not going to change. Ignore that. Murdering my brother, I would never have done that. I can't even believe you would accuse me of such a thing. That's absolutely ridiculous. But now our time for inward development may have passed, because the Pope, our Holy Father in Rome, has decreed that we should crusade for Jerusalem. The Kingdom of Jerusalem is calling out for we of the Christian faith to go and reclaim it from the infidels, and maybe put someone in my family on the seat of the Kingdom of Jerusalem. That would be very convenient. But no, we're doing this because it is good and holy, obviously, and not because it might benefit my bloodline somewhat. Hey, Cousin Sancho, I love your name. Did I ever mention that? Tell you what, let's see if we can't get the seat of Jerusalem for you. Okay? Yeah, great name. Really appreciate it. Back to Castile. All right, so we do have 14 months before the Crusade kicks off, which is wonderful. It's got a bit of a war chest that will get shared among all the participants. Hey, I'm not going to complain about having a little bit more money and prestige and piety, of course, because I am such a holy person. Except for the slight dabbling in witchcraft, which nobody knows about, and you better not tell anyone. So we've got a little bit of time. Let's go ahead and let the time advance until it is time for us to begin crusading. I believe, militaristically, we have developed all of our men-at-arms regiments, including some siege weapons, which is very exciting. Our culture has just discovered bailiffs. Well, that's fantastic news. The Castilians have developed some new technology over here for the bailiffs, increasing the amount of territory that our leaders can manage. That is fantastically lucky for us. Count Paleo, are you being a bit of a pain in the butt for me? I think you are. All of 17 years old and healthy, but kind of getting a little bit problematic. Forgetting to invite him leaves him in the dark. We have tasks which are impossible to complete. Commenting on his copious codpiece will throw him off. Am I diplomatic mastermind or what? Yeah, of course. That is very impressive. Oh, I failed to manipulate him. He's a little bit upset. That is too bad. We've got all of the knights we're going to need for our glorious campaign. We can't have any more than we've got right now. Hopefully they're going to be good enough to bring the goodness of God to this forsaken land. We can dismiss these messages about our many previous victories. We have done, speaking of something outside of just inward thought, we have done some light holy war, just a soupçon of holy war here in Iberia, with a promise of more to come, so that we can reclaim all this, of course, for the good and proper true religion. Which one are we again? Right, Catholic! Of course. Why would we be anything else? That would be ridiculous. Let's continue with things. Oh, we have a lifestyle perk available. Of course, we've already developed a little bit of our learning knowledge. We are known as a scholar. We're also known as an overseer, which allows us to maintain absolute iron-fisted control over our realm, for the good of our people, of course. More recently, I've decided that maybe a little bit of diplomatic effort is called for. So I think we're going to show our benevolent intent here by developing this perk here for some increased scheme power as we continue to try to make friends and sway some of our vassals. In fact, the Count over here, oh lovely, Count Alvar is a big fan now of us. I think we can probably go and focus on someone else at this time. We get, do we have anyone else in our realm that maybe, before we go and spread the good word of God, Duke Nuno over here, your father may have had some unfortunate incidents in my dungeons. some light and occasional torture, because it's possible, if I'm remembering the names correctly, and of course I have so many vassals it's hard to keep track of, I'm pretty sure there's a slight possibility that my son and chosen heir may not actually be my son. But you know what? I love my wife. We have a wonderful relationship now. We're going to let that slide and not be too concerned. Before we go crusading, of course I should hold a Holy Communion. That sounds like a fantastic idea. We will reach for the presence of God in transfixed ecstasy. Maybe we can get some special divine guidance for this coming crusade, which starts in, just 20 days. Is everyone excited? I certainly am. The crusade has now started, the crusade for Jerusalem. The time has finally come to bring St. George's holy wrath against the vile infidels of Jerusalem. Inflamed by righteous fury and unyielding resolve, the great army of crusaders assembled by Pope Victor sets forth to deliver divine justice upon the wicked and earn their place in heaven. That's good, because I may have done a few things, nothing I'm admitting to. There may have been a few things that I've done that might have not gotten me into heaven, but we're going to make up for that right now. Deus Vult, a crusade is launched for Jerusalem immediately. So first thing we're going to have to do, of course, is we're going to have to raise all of our levies. And there is a convenient little button here for us to raise all of our armies. And what's lovely is our troops now are smart enough to not gallivant in the open throughout all of our realm and potentially get picked off one by one. Nay, they will all correctly assemble at our gathering point all as one, which is oh so very convenient. We're going to go right away, without any hesitation, to the Kingdom of Jerusalem and begin working over there. Now, we are fighting against Egypt and a few of their friends. And confirm exactly who we're fighting at over here. Out of character, is this map gorgeous or what? So nice. Now, of course, the territory of Egypt, the closest area, would be over here in the west. But I feel like nothing short of committing fully to warring and sieging the land of Jerusalem itself would be appropriate for someone as important as myself. So our one army has been assembled. We are going to direct them. How about right here in the northern tip, and then we can sweep to the south. Of course, our troops are smart enough to walk to the coast and then recruit and hire some boats on their own initiative. Elvira and Alicia, two of my daughters, coming to age now. That is really wonderful. Speaking of daughters, I have my eldest daughter over here, Ulrika. I did maybe indoctrinate her into some the school of witchery and witchcraft ever so slightly. Then 2 days later, I got drunk at a party, let everyone know that my daughter is a witch. I failed to maybe mention the fact that I'm the reason that she's a witch. And she might be in a little bit of trouble right now, but don't worry, I haven't gone and arrested her for witchcraft. That felt maybe a little too hypocritical, even for myself. Actually, likewise, I can technically arrest my wife because she has been accused of being an adulterer, but I love her too much for that. Someone is plotting to kill my archbishop. Well, he's a servant from God. It would be very good to keep him protected. I'm going to make sure that my spy master is in fact working on disrupting schemes. Hopefully that will keep my archbishop alive. He even loves me very much, which is great. Because he likes me so much and the realm priest is endorsing me, I will get the taxes and levies from his territory instead of having that go only to the Pope. Obviously, we all serve the Pope, but I think I'm quite a bit happier serving him a little bit more, with a little bit more direct control over my own holdings. Let's leave it at that. So my troops are still on the way to Egypt. We'll just wait somewhat patiently for that to happen. Already people are fighting. How are we going to show glory to God if all the fighting is done before we get there? That will simply not do. Maybe we can tell our ships to go a little quicker. Of course, we are having... My chancellor approaching me with a rabid smile. Would appreciate if we could renegotiate my contract. Any improvement? We get the county of Navarra. Sure, Countess Toda, I will reduce your taxes in exchange for giving me a county as part of my my direct domain holdings. That sounds fantastic. Oh, I'm already at my domain limit. Money, lose opinion. You know, we'll take the land, we'll figure it out. I've got plenty of children. I can go and separate out this land a little bit later. I think that's going to be just fine. And peachy keen. Peachy keen, of course, well-known Castilian expression. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. We're going to move to the fortress over here. Of course, counties are divided into multiple baronies, and we are interested in sieging out the castle fort itself, which we're going to do. Our siege rate is actually going to be pretty fantastic because we were smart enough to hire some siege weapon men-at-arms before leaving Castile. We have some mangonels, I believe, with us, which every good sieger should make sure to include. We are going to be running a little bit low on supplies. Of course, we brought plenty of food and resources with us before leaving Iberia, but our ability to scavenge this while in the Holy Land is going to be somewhat limited. Depending on how many troops we have in a province, we may not be able to resupply ourselves at the maximum rate, and therefore our supplies may trickle down, which will impact our ability to fight against these infidels. But we haven't actually truly seen any of them yet. We're going to work simply on sieging down their forts for now. And already, my good work for the glory of God here in the Kingdom of Jerusalem has been recognized by the Pope, and I have been acknowledged as a Crusader, representing increased martial skill, combat prowess, and of course, all the other Catholics who like me that much more, which sounds great. So while the other allies who are here have grouped up for the warfare, I'm going to operate on my own and continue to do some sieging. Since there is no fighting to do yet, we don't know where the enemy troops are at this point. Certainly, they're cowering somewhere in the desert land, afraid of what these powerful Christian soldiers are going to bring to them should we cross swords at some point. Though I suspect it's only a matter of time before they make their appearance known. Sinful bishop. Prince Bishop exposed. Bishops should not expose themselves. Here are some troops. They do have some larger numbers, although they're moving out to sea. They're also higher quality than my own over here. Because we have so many levies compared to our men-at-arms and our knights, the quality of our armies not considered to be quite as good. So if we were to fight in even numbers, despite God being on our side, obviously, we might be in a little bit of trouble. I'm going to go to the county of Mon. I hear that they have some city built into the stone in this area. Of course, the word for stone in Latin... Ooh, there's a fight going on in the north. Let's go and assist. The stone in Latin would be Petra. So some city named maybe after that. Might be a sight to see at some point. But for now, we're going to pull away and make sure... Oh, it's going to be fine. Never mind. Let's go back to sieging. They're going to be okay. Actually, the siege seems a little bit better. Are we already done? That caught me a little bit off guard, I'm not gonna lie. St. George has granted King Sancho, that's me, victory in the Crusade for Jerusalem. Actually, sorry, it's not me. King Sancho in this case would be my cousin, now King Sancho of Jerusalem, has granted King Sancho victory in the Crusade for Jerusalem. After defeating Sultan Farim and his heathen warriors on several occasions, our warriors forced the enemies of the faith to admit their ignominious defeat, with the occupied lands firmly under leadership of a pious Catholic ruler. I mean, I know some things about my cousin that might make you think that he's perhaps not as pious as he lets himself be thought of. He has certain reputations, let's say, that might make him not truly the greatest Christian of all times. Maybe I can blackmail him about that. With the occupied lands finally under the leadership of a pious Catholic ruler, we can rest assured that the divine will of St. George has been enacted. This is a glorious day for all true followers of the cross. St. George is with us. Victory in the Crusade, so be it. Now, of course, the story of King Sancho II of Castile is going to continue over here. But we do have an interesting option where perhaps we can take over the Kingdom of Jerusalem. No longer will I be King Sancho II of Castile. Instead, I will now be King Sancho Ramirez of Jerusalem. Unfortunately, turns out the lands of Jerusalem might still be under conflict. Here, as King Sancho, we immediately find ourselves in another war. Well, let's raise our armies and see what we can do. Who are we up against? War against the tyranny of King Sancho. How can I be tyrannical if I haven't been king yet? After I win this war, I will show you true tyranny. I mean, good, proper Christian behavior. And if you don't listen to me, then maybe there'll be a slight spanking. let's move our army of Jerusalem down into the land that is challenging me. Currently, we do outnumber their troops, which is great news by actually a fairly substantial amount. I think there are plenty holy warriors that have arrived to help us defend our territory. Let's chase down the heathen army before they can go and regroup with any of their own friends. Or maybe they'll just outrun us completely. So we're going to turn around and see. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. Scheme discovered. Oh. Apparently, I may have been scheming to murder someone before, of course, being crowned king of Jerusalem. So we're going to abandon the scheme because I don't think it's no longer appropriate for a ruler such as myself to participate in such petty schemes. That is a lot of soldiers off of our coast. Will King Sancho of Jerusalem be able to defend his new territory, or will he succumb to the vengeance of the infidels? Oh no, the Fatimids are in on this too. Oh, this does not look good for King Sancho Ramirez of Jerusalem. We'll have to find out in the future what his fate will be. What is his faith also? Well, we know his faith, but actually, what are his lifestyle choices? He doesn't have one selected. Ooh, well, I feel the only appropriate choice, of course, then, would be the learning lifestyle, specifically with a theology focus, because what would be more appropriate for the King of Jerusalem? Hopefully, we will start to unlock more of these perks. Perhaps we'll go straight into Theologian right from the beginning. And I suspect we should also probably focus on doing some conversions, because not everyone here has known the true and proper and only correct word of God, which is, again, who are we again? Right, Catholics. Well, of course. Clearly the only possible option. So maybe we can go and spread the word there, and maybe we'll have fewer problems with these heathens, these infidels, rising up to fight against me. But that will have to wait until the future. Folks, I hope you enjoyed this kind of roleplay video, sponsored by Paradox for Crusader Kings 3, showing off some religiously themed gameplay. Of course, most of the gameplay was actually quite combat-oriented, more than exploring our spirituality. But we do have the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Of course, there's no reason we couldn't have continued to play as King Sancho II. In fact, if this goes quite badly, there's no reason we can't just switch to a different character as well if it turns out that the Kingdom of Jerusalem is not long for this world. We can go back to playing as Castile, and then come back and avenge our cousin. Maybe after we take a little bit more Iberia. Folks, again, check the description down below for relevant links. Crusader Kings 3 is right around the corner. Very exciting, very excited for all of you guys to get your hand on this, and I'm super duper looking forward to doing a good and proper Let's Play of this. If you have a suggestion or recommendation or a question about who we might play as, please let me know in the comments for our full campaign. Maybe we go back to Castile. My very first game of Crusader Kings 2, I actually did play as King Sancho of Castile, and I thought there was some great sort of symmetry in doing it again here in CK3. Maybe we'll do that again. Maybe we'll try to have Scotland come out on top in the British Isles. Maybe we'll see if Sweden is overpowered in Crusader Kings 3. No idea. You guys let me know in the comments what you think would be a cool nation to play as. And until then, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.